Hello, welcome back to the channel. It was a bit spontaneous. No, it went like that, and then I was like, shit, I'm supposed to say something. So, yes, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while since I've done a review, so we're going to do one of those. We're going to do two, actually. Yeah, we're going to do two. And one's an old one, one's quite an old kit, one's, I believe one is a new release. I'm not going to tell you. We're doing the old one first, but obviously they're going to be two separate videos. But I'm going to do them both now, but they'll be released separately. So anyway, so what have we got first? Where have I put it? Oh yeah. First up, we're going to be reviewing this Jordan Formula 1 kit. It's made by Hasegawa. I can't remember exactly. I think it's 2014, the kit. I did have a quick look on Scalemates, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, so it's quite an old kit. 2014, it's not really that old. In terms of modelling, it's probably earlier than that. I'm trying to think when it was. Apologies for the dog. Our other dog is in heat or in season, and as a result, he wants his wicked way with her. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of why that is strange, because he's been done. But there we go. Anyway, back to this. We're not talking about dog sex or anything like that. Yeah, so we're going to delve into this, have a look, see what it looks like, and look, there we go. Let's go over to the bench. So, here we are. We've got some nice box art on the front. It's I don't know who that is that's racing that. I can't remember, it's been so long. We've not got a name on there anywhere, but basically this was Eddie Jordan started up his own team round about, I can't remember the dates. I was following it religiously as well back then, so I'm guessing in the region of 1998, around there. Does that sound right? I don't know, but yeah. And so we got some. Then we've got pictures on the side of the. Is that the real one? Yeah, that's the real car in the pit lane or wherever. We've got some, it's 87 pieces, 182.5mm long when built, and then generally just the same picture all the way around, apart from on the back. So let's have a look inside. Let's look at the instructions first. Yeah, I've got so I don't know whether it's me or whether this this paper looks quite so old, dated even. Let's go out a bit. So we've basically, I've never put a Formula 1 car together before. I'm going to try and zoom out a bit more. There we go. It's all on one sheet, this sort of tri-fold piece of paper, and we start off with, looks like the front nose cone and the front downforce wing thing. Got the nose cone going on and the stabilisers there as well, and then we come over here and brakes and such like going on. Yeah, the brakes going on there. Then we've got the driver's area coming down in. I mean, this was replaced later on with the tub, I do believe, like a carbon fibre type tub that they sat in, rather than having their legs in here. I may be wrong on that. Sam is the man that can tell you about all this with much more authority than I've got. And then basically odds and sods going on here. We've got some of these side panels, some more trim going on there, and then we've got an engine going together, which I believe was Cosworth. Yamaha keeps popping into my head. It's been so long since I looked at anything Formula One. I was a big Nigel Mansell fan back in the day. I loved Nigel Mansell, and I loved the whole Frank Williams team look, the yellow with the cannon on the back. I think it's FW14 was the car number. Oh, it's a beautiful car, that was. And I followed it religiously, and I was a photographer at the time, so I'd done lots of photography. I got lots of pictures. Absolutely fantastic. And I have actually got pictures of this car broken down in its factory, with all this exposed, showing exactly how it all goes together. But I've got to find them. If I can find them, that would be a big bonus for this. Anyway, we've got the engine going in, which has got to be a Yamaha, and then we go over, covers going on the top, flip this back, we've got back brakes going on, rear aerofoil sort of downforce, and then we've got marking and painting on the back here. Very brief run through on the instructions there, because I don't know much about it. So then we come to the decals. The decals are in here, and also these stabiliser sections for the wheels. They've been put separately from everything else. So now I don't know whether these are going to be fragile. I did speak to Sam about this, because he knows more about this than I do, and I spoke to Paul as well, because I felt at the time that they looked as though they were yellowing. They weren't quite they weren't bright white as such. So, and then with this whole sort of green cast to some of the, I just didn't know, but looking at it, I think they look fine actually, now they're out of the bag. I think it's just that the colour's so close to this background colour, it's making it look like a sickly pallor, if you know what I mean. But anyway, let's have a look at these. They look a lot better than now they're out of the bag and I'm handling them. They do look a lot better. So they're glossy, although we've got mixed on there. I don't know if you can see that. You see that? That almost looks like something spilled and run down and not everywhere else. I know that hasn't happened, because if that had happened all this would be buggered, but it's got that look to it, which I don't think it's meant to have. But anyway, we'll see when it comes to putting them on how they are. The others look okay. They're made in Japan. Everything seems to be in register on there. The speedo's a bit, no, the colours are not quite accurately aligned, so they're not quite right. The Brazilian flag's not right either, and the colours are a bit skew-whiff on there. So if I just bring you in really close, you'll be able to see what I mean. I am being picky, but there is. So look, let's go in and let's try and get the Brazilian flag to focus in. Oh, is it not gonna? We're not gonna. Perhaps a bit too. Let's come out. There we go. Right. So I don't know if you can see it. There's the Brazilian flag, number 60. It's not quite right. And you can see on number 62 the red arrow's got a white edge to one side of it, which is not quite right. Yeah, I am being picky. I know it's a bit, you know, probably being a bit pathetic, but these are the things that we look for when we're doing these reviews, just so that we can be thorough. This side looks okay. The writing's a bit soft. Yamaha, Jordan. You can make it out, you can read it, it's fair enough, but just the smaller stuff is a bit blurry. And for example, when it comes to seeing, sorry about the dog, but when it comes to racing for Ireland, I believe that's meant to say, around here, you just can't make that out. The racing for at the side is just a white blob. But there we go. I mean, they're gonna be fine, I think. When I put them on, that'll be a closer look. Take care with them, see how they go. If they look as though they're not going to be too good, then I may replace them with something else. So let's just have a quick look here. These are nice. These are they're very delicate. That's why they've been put on there, so as they don't get broken. They're obviously very easily broke, and that's, yeah, they're very, very fragile. That's something we definitely don't want to do. Just bring you up so you can see what I mean. Then there's my finger. There's my finger, so you can see they're very, very thin, fragile. Got to take care, because you think once you get tet or anything on there, this all softens up. You know, it's very easily broken then. So care will be taken with that. Let's pop them in at the back of the decals, because we don't want them rubbing on the front. And we go straight into, we've got one bag. I can hear something rattling about. One bag with everything in. So tyres and poly caps, we'll have a look at them last, I think. Yeah, we've got some bits, got to be careful here. Pop them off to one side. There are a couple of pieces in there, and a very tiny. That looks like that could be important, so I'm going to leave them 3 bits in there because everything's going back in this bag. We'll look at them more closely. So here we go. It's blue plastic. It looks quite. It's okay, really. Doesn't appear to be much in the way of flash. We've got a very thin area here, so we need to be careful with that. That could easily break. Yeah, we need to pay careful attention to that. So it needs going round just gently with a sanding stick, just to take off the sharp edges, give it a neater finish. doesn't appear to be any flash as such, just a bit sharp, that's all. Somebody's tried to take off EPMs a little bit, or as best they can, which is good. We've got location pins, so that's also helpful. EPMs on the back, I don't know whether they will cause a problem or not. We've got slight marbling in the plastic, but I mean it's all going to be primed and painted anyway, so that's not too much of a worry. Let's take them off there a minute. Then we've got a couple of clear bits. I don't know what to say really. I don't know what they are. I can't assist you in any way. I guess there's something to do with the front, where the instruments are, where the steering wheel is, I guess. So yeah, that's another one in there. Problem is all these pieces are knocking against each other, and there's one of the pieces that's gone missing. And again, everything seems to be okay. Plastic's scratched from where it's been knocking up against each other. I mean, these are sharp edges. They're constantly rubbing against each other. They are gonna, you know, wear one of them down. Again, not much in the way of flash. For an old kit, it's actually doing remarkably well. The back, yeah, somebody's been round and tried to smooth things out. We've got a nasty EPM. Is that an EPM or is that a location point? I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to be careful and check on that. Then we've got some first set of wheel hubs. They're in black plastic. We've got obviously the rear wheels quite much wider. And, we have got two, and then the front one's not as wide at all. Will they be chromed? I'm not sure. I don't know what colour the originals are, but that's something we'll look at. I'm not going to show, that's just the other set. There's not much in the way of detail on them. I'll just bring that in closer for you to have a look. Not much in the way of detail. Maybe a nut in the centre, but you're not missing anything. Then we come on to, obviously I think these are engine bits and brake discs and so on. So you can see here we've got the brake discs. Sadly they're not sort of vented or anything, I don't see. Maybe there's a detail kit for it, something I haven't checked. That would probably be nice if there was. The brakes are pretty basic. This is the engine compartment coming together here. Generally not too bad though. It'll go together well. It'll be a nice looking kit when it's finished, there's no doubt about that. Trying to get these back in the bag together, but they are getting themselves tangled up. Then we've got the bottom. with the kit. Again, not much in the way of detail on it. Whether there would be on the real thing, I can't, I don't think so. And then we've got, wow, that looks like 2 seats, but obviously it's not. There's a radiator maybe there, there's 2. I don't know, that's something to do with the engine, I think, I'm not sure. We've got the steering wheel. The steering wheel is in. Where are you? Come on, where are you? Come to me. There we go. Steering wheel, so there'll no doubt be a decal to go over that. So, you know, a basic build, I would put this at. Probably a good one to begin with for a beginner. The Red Bull one's far more involved, shall we say. I think that's it actually, in terms of, let's just pop them in there a second. And we've got these tyres, we'll have a quick look at these tyres. Yeah, they've got a seam line down the middle. I was hoping there wouldn't be, but there is. Where are we? There we go. Seam line down the middle. It's not a big deal, we can take care of that, but you know, it would have been nice if there wasn't. And there are also a plethora of white decals that have come separately from the other decals. Now these are your tyre, there you go, you can see them perfectly in that Goodyear, and they're to go on all the tyres. That's all your tyre information, so that's nice. And there's your poly caps that will go on the wheels so that the wheels can turn. Ooh. Excellent. So that's all there really is for me to say on this kit. It's a very basic kit. There's not a huge deal of, there's not a great deal of detail in it, but that is, you know, most of the details in the engine and things like that on these cars. And this is really more of a curbside kit, although there is an engine in there. Once you put it together and you get the decals on, it will look fantastic. And I'll probably do a little video build on this, like updates as it's going along, so that you can see that even a basic kit can look good when it's done properly. And this was a favourite of mine when it came out, alongside the Canon Williams. So with that said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did, and bye for now. See you next time.